Good to be with you tonight from the Middle East. I'm Tony DeCopel. The breaking news right now. Nome, no more. The first cabinet firing of Donald Trump's second term. Tonight, what sealed her fate? The president's pick to replace her and what Democrats are now saying.
Kristi Noem is gone. Good riddance.
Also developing tonight, the widening war in the Middle East. Iran attacks another nation, bringing the total to at least 12. As major questions loom over that country's future, who will lead it long term? The president weighing in today on whether America gets a say. The dangerous thunderstorms tonight, tornadoes, hail, and flash flooding all threatening the central U.S. Now moving east, Rob Marciano with the timing and track.
I don't need her. I got everything I need right here at Dunkin'.
Come and take it. Coffee lovers dig in after Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. calls out Dunkin' and Starbucks for sugary drinks.
There you go.
And the case of the missing boy and the bloodhound. What happened next?
This is the CBS Evening News with Tony DeCopel, reporting tonight from Amman, Jordan.
Thank you for joining us on a very busy Thursday night. The price of oil is surging again as the stock market plunges. The Dow losing almost 800 points as this war intensifies in the Middle East. But we're going to begin with the major news out of Washington, the first cabinet secretary to be fired during Donald Trump's second term. The president today ousting Kristi Noem as Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security and nominating as her replacement Oklahoma Senator Mark Wayne Mullen. The job, one of the biggest in Washington, includes airport security, disaster response, and most controversially for Noem, border control and immigration enforcement. Nancy Cordes is at the White House for us with more on all this. Nancy, good evening. Why now?
Good evening. Well, Tony, now that she is gone, administration officials are not mincing words. One of them telling CBS News that Noem was ousted due to, quote, many unfortunate leadership failures, including the fallout in Minnesota, the allegations of infidelity, the mismanagement of her staff, and more.
I'm Kristi Noem. Secretary Noem's claims about these ads appear to have been the final straw for President Trump.
Leave now. If you don't, we will find you and we will deport you.
The $220 million ad campaign began airing last year. Some of that money went to a company run by the husband of Noem's former spokesperson.
I did not have anything to do with picking those contractors.
Noem was grilled about the pricey ads at a Senate hearing this week.
Correct.
Did the president know you were going to do this?
Yes.
He did?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Trump disputed that today, telling Reuters he never knew anything about the ads. A couple hours later, Noem was out, and Oklahoma Senator Mark Wayne Mullen, a former businessman and mixed martial artist, was in.
I am super excited about this opportunity. It came at not a complete surprise, but it came at a little bit of surprise for us.
Noem was already on thin ice with Trump before this week. After the chaotic enforcement raids in Minneapolis left 2 U.S. citizens dead. Noem falsely accusing both of them of
domestic terrorism
within hours of their demise.
What we've seen is a disaster. Under your leadership, Ms. Noem, a disaster.
Also leaving DHS, CBS News has learned, is Corey Lewandowski, Noem's close aide and rumored romantic partner, who was also Trump's first campaign manager. Noem was asked about him repeatedly this week.
Have you had sexual relations with Corey Lewandowski?
Mr. Chairman, I am shocked that we're going down and peddling tabloid garbage in this committee today.
In his announcement today, Trump didn't actually say he was firing Noem, just reassigning her to a role called Special Envoy for the Shield of the Americas, which is a new coalition Trump is forming with Latin American countries to deal with problems like drug cartels and human trafficking. Tony.
Nancy, thank you very much. As we report tonight from the Middle East, amid what are repeated sirens here again this evening in Jordan, we have breaking news in the fighting. The U.S. military, within the past couple of hours, reports dropping dozens of 2,000-pound penetrator bombs targeting ballistic missile launchers hidden underground in Iran. That major new operation, as it happens, coincides with news on President Trump's ability to conduct this war without congressional approval. The House of Representatives today rejected an effort to rein him in. The president also gave an interview today in which he said he should be involved in picking Iran's next leader. Our report tonight on everything we know about the war right now. Smoke over Tehran today marked day 6 of a war still only widening. The U.S. and Israel bombarding Iran overnight and into the day, shattering normal life for much of the country. President Trump says Operation Epic Fury is far ahead of schedule.
We're destroying more of Iran's missiles and drone capability every single hour, knocking them out like nobody thought was possible.
The Israeli Defense Forces now say more than 60% of Iran's ballistic missile launchers have been neutralized or destroyed, along with approximately 80% of the country's air defenses. And joint U.S.-Israeli forces claim to have near complete control of the Iranian skies. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth.
Iran is hoping that we cannot sustain this, which is a really bad miscalculation.
But Iran showing no outward signs of submission, promising the U.S. will bitterly regret the dozens of Iranian sailors killed this week off the coast of Sri Lanka. And launching a new round of drone and missile attacks against its neighbors, including Abu Dhabi, and though the Iranians deny it, Azerbaijan, which today blamed Iran for this drone strike on a local airport, adding the assault would not go unanswered. In Lebanon, Israeli ground operations have already begun against Iran-backed Hezbollah, as the IDF urged residents in southern Beirut to, quote, save your lives and evacuate your homes immediately. Meanwhile, some progress for those travelers, including Americans, stranded in the region, as some flights returned to the U.S. today.
I'm just thankful to be home.
On the streets of Amman, Jordan, the war has deepened the hatred of many for America and Israel, but also for Iran. Are you worried? This shopkeeper says he's worried about business. Another young man told us he hopes the regime will fall. Do you support the war?
I think Iran has been doing lots of bad things in the Middle East.
For most people here, as is surely true of other Arab capitals, the war is a battle between enemies. And the only pity is they can't both lose. We also have new reporting tonight on when Israel started planning this military takedown of the Iranian regime and who will be the next leader of Iran's 93 million people. Chief correspondent Matt Gutman joins us now from Tel Aviv. Matt, good evening.
Hey, good evening, Tony. Back in 2023, Israel decided to move away from its cloak and dagger operations in Iran and begin planning a massive all-in aerial assault that would use almost every single plane in its air force. And war planners telling me that what they wargamed back then is what we're seeing right now.
It took less than a minute for Israeli bombs to kill Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, along with more than 40 senior figures Saturday. But according to people directly involved in the planning, the attack was 3 years in the making. And that top-secret Israeli plan sought to wipe out Iran's military capabilities, not regime change. The big question now, after 47 years of the Islamic Republic, who will next lead Iran? President Trump at first urging Iranians to rise up.
When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations.
Today, he said he wants to be involved in selecting the next leader. But this week's strikes limited the options.
Well, most of the people we had in mind are dead.
The Ayatollah's second eldest son, Mujtaba Khamenei, has emerged as a frontrunner, a possible worst-case scenario for the White House. Iran analyst Sanam Vakil.
He's a hardliner. He reflects regime continuity. And his name is reemerging, really because people are thinking about preserving the state structure, preserving the Islamic Republic.
President Trump has also expressed doubts about Reza Pahlavi, the exiled son of Iran's last monarch, who is now positioning himself as an interim leader. Yesterday, hackers broadcast a message from Pahlavi on Iranian state TV, calling on military personnel to join civilians against the government.
Do you see the regime surviving this?
As of right now, yes, I do think the regime is going to survive, really, because history and evidence continues to demonstrate that regime change doesn't come from air campaigns on their own.
And Tony, that original Israeli war plan called for an only 2-week campaign. Right now, Israeli officials tell me they are ahead of schedule. But the question that nobody seems to be able to answer, what is the end game here for the U.S.? Tony.
That is a big question, Matt. Thank you very much. One final note now on the war. We know the names tonight of all 6 U.S. service members who died in that Iranian drone attack on U.S. forces in Kuwait. Tonight, the Pentagon says it believes Chief Warrant Officer Robert Marzan is among the dead, described by his sister as her baby brother and a strong leader who lived by example. And Major Jeffrey O'Brien's aunt described him this way: the sweetest, blue-eyed, blonde farm kid you'd ever know. Along with 4 soldiers previously identified, they were part of a logistics unit based out of Des Moines, Iowa. To other news tonight, and the body cam video released today of police in Austin, Texas, taking down a man who had opened fire on a bar, killing 3 people there. Investigators are looking into his possible ties to terrorism. And we caution you, some of this video is graphic. Here's CBS News correspondent Jason Allen.
There are people dead over here. There have been multiple people shot. We need help right now.
Austin police released body camera video from early Sunday morning, showing officers charging toward a gunman who was firing at people with an AR-15 rifle.
Where is he? Where?
Surveillance video shows one of the officers hiding behind a pickup truck as he fired a barrage of bullets at 53-year-old Indiaga Diagne. People nearby scrambled for cover.
Where is it? Where is it?
As they helped direct police to the threat.
Where is it? Where is it? Who shot?
By the time police got to him, Diagne had shot 19 people. Video from a parked car shows the gunman wandering through a parking lot, then turning to shoot a pedestrian who was trying to run away.
I want to again recognize the bravery of our officers. You saw that firsthand as they ran into danger to stop this. It is quite clear that they saved multiple lives.
Austin Police Chief Lisa Davis said it took officers just 57 seconds to get to the scene and engage the shooter. Local police and the FBI are still sifting through evidence from the suspect's apartment. Law enforcement sources tell CBS News they found an Iranian flag and pictures of Iranian leaders inside. The gunman also appeared to be wearing an undershirt with what looked like an image of an Iranian flag.
The police department said that her police chief said her department had no contact with the shooter before everything that happened Sunday. There are still 2 people in the hospital, one of them in critical condition. Tony?
Jason, thank you very much. Turning now to the weather, and millions on alert for round 2 of dangerous storms. This one slammed into Aubrey, Texas overnight near Dallas, the system dumping rain and hail in that region. CBS News meteorologist Rob Marciano tells us where it's headed next. Rob, good evening.
Hey, Tony, I was a mess in Dallas last night. It's all here now in the Northeast. We'll get to the impacts on that in just a minute. But let's reset the table for another round of severe weather across the plains. We've got red flag warnings for fire spread. We've got winter storm warnings in the Rocky Mountains. They'll take that. But what we won't take is another round of severe. And we're just getting started to the season here. So the Texas Panhandle is the target tonight. Damaging wind, large hail, maybe a tornado. I think tomorrow, when unfortunately gets into more populous areas east of I-35, we'll likely see more widespread damaging thunderstorms, including the potential for seeing some tornadoes. So timing it out, you see the moisture being thrown off towards the east. Really a couple of more rounds in here, really getting heavy as we head towards Saturday early morning across the Mississippi, the Tennessee Valley. This is where it could get severe as well for the southeast and parts of the northeast. The northeast right now, here's that heavier rain. Some pinks working into the colder air. Interior parts of New York and New England could see a glazing of ice and a couple of inches of snow. So on top of everything we have going on, a dicey commute for millions come tomorrow morning. Tony?
Rob, thank you very much. Still ahead tonight, RFK Jr.'s battle over sugary coffee drinks, what Dunkin' and Starbucks are saying. Plus, Savannah Guthrie's tearful return to the Today studio more than a month after her mother's disappearance. We are back with more on the battle lines being drawn between the nation's two largest coffee chains and the man who has vowed to make America healthy again. Here's CBS News correspondent Tom Hansen.
Look at everything I need right here at Dunkin'.
Dunkin' is known for recruiting big stars for its ads, but now it's drawing criticism from HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who says many of the drinks at Dunkin' and Starbucks contain too much sugar.
Show us the safety data that show that it's okay for a teenage girl to drink an iced coffee with 115 grams of sugar in it.
Federal dietary guidelines recommend meals should have no more than 10 grams of added sugar, but nearly every drink on the Dunkin' menu exceeds that amount. Overconsumption of sugar can lead to obesity, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease, according to the CDC.
We just bought this large frozen coffee with skim milk from Dunkin', and it may not seem like it, but it contains about this much sugar, 112 grams. That's about the same as eating 6 servings of Breyer's vanilla ice cream.
Ultra-processed foods and beverages are bad for you, regardless of who happens to sell them. Your go-to beverage really shouldn't be liquid candy.
Neither Dunkin' nor Starbucks have commented, but it's all the buzz among customers.
If it's a good drink. If I were to tell you that there are over 50 grams of sugar in this drink, what do you think?
That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy.
Put it on a label, put it on the board, so people should make their own decisions.
The governor of Massachusetts, where Dunkin' is headquartered, responded online. Come and take it.
And Secretary Kennedy responded on X today saying, and I quote, "No one is taking away your Dunkin'." He continued to question the safety of drinks with such high levels of sugar, levels well beyond recommended guidelines. Tony.
Tom, thank you very much. Up next on the CBS Evening News, what happened seconds before this plane crashed into a Phoenix backyard? We are back with an update on Savannah Guthrie's future at NBC's Today Show. Guthrie returned to the set this morning for an off-air reunion with colleagues, thanking them for their support amid the ongoing search for her mother, Nancy. Authorities believe the 84-year-old was abducted from her Tucson home more than a month ago now. A Today Show spokesperson says Savannah will return to the show eventually, but is now focused, understandably, on her family and working to help bring her mother home. Crews are on the scene of what is a massive warehouse fire near Miami tonight. Take a look at it. Flames and thick black smoke pouring from the building. Officials are warning the public to stay away from this area as they fight a fire so dangerous. Crews had to attack it from the air with water drops from choppers. No injuries reported so far. We have new video tonight of a small plane crashing into a Phoenix backyard. A doorbell cam shows the aircraft dropping from the sky, clipping the roof of a house as it goes down. This happened yesterday. The 2 people on board were hurt, and so was someone inside the home. Imagine what they're thinking today. Crews used cranes to pull the plane out. The crash is under investigation tonight. Still ahead, the good stuff. A bloodhound named Hoot becomes a hero. Finally tonight, the good stuff. If you've never seen a bloodhound in action, you're about to meet a hero named Hoot.
Yes! That's a good girl!
A very good girl and a very good night for this Florida canine named Hoot, whose job this week was to find a missing boy near Port St. Lucie. All she needed was a harness and a sniff of the boy's belongings.
Check. Good check.
And she was off on the trail.
She's on him.
Pulling police through alleys and streets, around fences, and down railroad tracks.
He's there, police department!
As desperate as anybody, it seemed, to find the boy, a 13-year-old with autism who had wandered away from a local gym.
Ethan, you in here?
And when Hoot finally succeeded, just after nightfall, in an instant, she went from search dog to comfort dog.
Come pet my dog, Ethan!
The boy there petting her on the head. Hoot's handler also celebrated the job well done.
You found him! Good girl!
And while bloodhounds don't always look happy exactly, I'd say Hoot is smiling tonight. Hoot really is a hero. Port St. Lucie police told us that the canine there, Hoot, has helped find 4 missing children in the past 2 years. Hoot the hero indeed. That's another day in America and the world. I'm Tony DeCopel reporting tonight from Amman, Jordan. On behalf of all of us here at CBS News, thank you for joining us. Good night.